Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO. When you sign up, get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Delmendo. And we are down to 1. 1 game left in this miserable season.
The march to 162 is almost
What was
complete.
your favorite part of the first 161 games? When I sang Creed last night?
Maybe Creed last night, that's possible.
That was a good
All
one.
the times I said that Yachty is the most overrated baseball player of my life. Oh,
That's
so
too
that's
many
like,
too often.
at least at least 20 different times.
Me wearing a Hawaiian, that was also a good
First
one.
Hawaiian
Don't
shirt,
forget about
yeah.
that. First
Yes.
Hawaiian shirt in spring
yeah.
training, but
Yeah.
just every time it always
Ronda's
looked
here.
clean.
When we had all the vibes, which is every show. So,
Yeah.
Every show's got the vibes.
yeah. Anyway, hello, Rhonda. Always appreciate
Rhonda.
you here. Also,
Yeah,
Rhonda's
Sean's-
the best because she comes in and says,
She always
hello.
waves. She always gives the
She always
wave
says
emoji.
hello
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and then
Hello.
says our names. And then, like, I just feel like.
Very polite.
Yeah, very
Ronda's
polite.
very, very polite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Lucas
I don't
in
know
the
if she's a
chat.
mom, but it's like big mom vibes, I feel. So, like.
Joel, we're going to talk
kinda
about it.
Joel,
We're gonna
Sean,
talk about
Lucas.
it. Don't jump ahead, Joel. We got to talk about game 161 first, real quick.
Game 161, the biggest game of
3-2.
the year, baby.
The night
Right.
Thompson and Hughes gave up the lead and the Cubs lost.
Yeah, maybe not the scenario you were expecting.
No,
right?
that was not
Yeah.
the scenario we were thinking of. First, Willson, will that be his final home run in a Cubs uniform?
Many people are starting to think it, man.
22 on the season.
Starting to think it. I think that's got to have been thought for a while. Well,
I mean, for
Anyone
a couple
with the
years,
brain's
I
been
guess.
thinking it. I don't choose not to have a brain when it comes to
Sean
that
can't
topic.
handle this Willson BS.
it's. I mean, we kind of went in depth on it yesterday. I mean, it's just that's the direction. That's where the arrow's pointing. That's just the writing's kind of on the wall. It's just everything they're all the cliches out there. Like it feels like it's about to come to an end. I mean, I guess you can never say never. No one ever says never, but
Well, you
it's
know the
just
Cubs
like,
will definitely give out the qualifying offer, and
Yeah.
then we'll see.
I expected to, and
They
there's
should, because if they
yeah.
don't, they ain't getting no draft pick at
Well,
least.
and there's every chance he accepts it too,
Right.
and comes and is goes back to the.
I think
Cubs
I'd be
for
more
next season.
angry about that if they didn't extend the qualifying offer and didn't even get the draft pick. Oh man, I will come on this podcast and yell some more. Shit.
It's just kind of the position that the Cubs are in right now, that Wilson's in right now, and I guess we
And
just
he'll
kind of wait
probably
to
be
see.
on the Cardinals next year. Mr. Gordon stirring the pot again, stirring it up.
He's really good at stirring that butter.
He likes to stir it up. Wilson allegedly reached out to a friend on the Cardinals, got good reports back.
Jose
What is that?
Quintana, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How boring is St. Louis? It's boring, but you still get paid. Okay.
But we still get paid.
We still make money. It's boring. Your money goes a lot further there than
Yeah.
it does here. Listen, I don't care where he goes. St. Louis would be a little bit of St. Louis or Milwaukee would be a little tough to swallow, but
It's just like
Okay.
it's just that I think in the end it's just like Wilson, go get paid what you want to be paid, and if I mean I guess if this is the Cardinals that are going to give it to you, what you feel you're worth, like then props to you. Good, hats off, you earned it. Like that's kind of what it is.
This is how I feel.
Uh-oh.
It's big Dexter Fowler vibes. Like,
well, yeah.
and this is nothing against Wilson. It's just like, why? And this is why I don't even think the Cardinals are even interested. Because why would you go from defensive mind catcher that you've had for 20 years and perhaps is a little overrated? Why would you go from that to bring in an offensive catcher when you already have a team full of offense? They do. They have 2 6-WAR players in their lineup this year, on top of a bunch of other young position players coming up. Anyway, so why would you add more offense to the offense you already have when clearly they've shown to win with a defensive-minded catcher over the last 2 decades?
Well, I mean, it's
That's the way
that's a good
way
point.
that I look at it.
I think I mean, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm
And they
looking
have
at
6
it as
top 100 prospects. By the way,
if
too.
I'm the Cardinals, I'm looking at it as like you see what the Cubs did all year. He DH'd probably at least 50% of his games, if not more. Like, he could be your DH. And Cody, we talked about it beforehand. Like, if he can play first base, take some, let Paul Goldschmidt get, a few days off, get off his legs a couple times. Like, that's another way. I mean, it's like he's not going to be there every single day, 162 or even close to that catcher, just like he wasn't at all this year. I think that's if you're the Cardinals, that's how you look at it.
Willson has that kind of pride where he's not going to be automatically be, your starting catcher, catching every day. Well, I think Willson has that kind of pride.
He did it this year.
This is his
chance
first
to change
in
the
story.
First
half. Go back in the first half. I'd love to know how many games he caught in the first half before the deadline. And then, of course, the second half is hard to tell. He got hurt, so he didn't play. And then going into the deadline, they DH'd him because we all thought they were going to trade him.
I'll have to do some counting.
Guy Finley says, "Tell your story walking in St. Louis." Is he? Are you talking to me like about?
Do you have a story of you walking?
I mean, kind of. I walked when the Blues hosted the Blackhawks on Easter Sunday. It was a playoff game, and I had a blue suit on. I was sideline reporting for the playoff game for NBC, and some old lady was walking by, and she's like, "Nice blue suit." No, wait, what she said? "Nice blue suit, go Blues." And I said, "Actually, it's Cubby Blue." And she just turned around and just like viciously yelled, "Rotten hell." I don't know if that's what he's referring to, but I have told that story before. I believe that's what she said was rotten hell. She told me. I just simply said it wasn't Blues Blue, it was Cubby Blue.
Well, I have my story of the guy checking me into my hotel just completely just falling asleep in front of me.
That's right.
As I'm waiting to get checked into my room, and then giving me the key to someone else's room as I walk in and the door latch is on, and I'm like, well,
right.
This isn't good. I run away. I run away from the door back down to the elevator. Yeah. Well, it was funny because that dude was sitting down, and like.
Did you see somebody in the room?
No. The dude that was at the front desk was sitting down.
You didn't, like when you went to open the door and it was latched, you didn't see anybody like.
Well, there. I don't think the lights were on. No, I didn't look. I just I opened it and then the latch was on. I'm like, this isn't supposed to happen. So. Yeah, it was. No, but then the guy was like sitting down when he fell asleep, and then he stood up, and then when I went back down, he was still standing up. So I'm like, that's how he's trying to keep himself awake just in case it happens again. I don't want to make him feel bad, but
St. Louis is not a nice city.
No, I don't know. But
boring, yes. Anyways, I don't really want to see him go there, and I don't want to see him go to Milwaukee. But if that's who pays him the most, so be it. You won't really care if the Cubs improve their team, and that's where he goes.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I to me it feels like when Dexter Fowler went to Cardinals after they won the World Series. Like the Cubs didn't want to pay him what his market was, and he went to the Cardinals, and you started to see his career start to dip. Not all the reasons I already said. It just isn't a very Cardinals move to me that they would go and sign Contreras.
I'll agree with that one.
It does not make any sense to me. Of all the years I have to sit and watch this godforsaken franchise ruin my freaking summers, the Cardinals, even remotely being interested in Willson Contreras, isn't a typical Cardinals thing. And again, 6 top 100 prospects, and I'm pretty sure one of them is a catcher. So maybe they want a proven guy to go in there to help groom this next guy, but with all the reports saying he doesn't know how to call games, he doesn't take criticism well, apparently kind of a bad teammate. Like, I don't know. It's doesn't make sense to me. So I'll believe it when I see it. Will I be happy if it happens? I mean, I'm not going to like it, and I'm sure Willson will have some sort of grudge no matter how much he says he loves the Cubs fans. He will have some grudge with the Cubs front office for not wanting to have a serious conversation about keeping him long term. But from just a player standpoint, I don't blame him.
Well, I agree in the sense that like the Cardinals, like even Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt were trades, and then Arenado got the extension. I don't know if Paul Goldschmidt also signed. He might have signed one. I don't remember. But those are trades. Like they aren't like huge players in free agency, and I guess it depends what the market is for Willson Contreras. Because if it's like lower than maybe even Willson expects, the Cardinals may try to swoop in right there, but. As far as going out and getting a big free agent signing, it doesn't often happen in St. Louis.
Yeah. I just think that team needs more pitching than they need offense. Like going into the postseason, yeah, they've been the hottest team in the second half. They also played the easiest schedule in the second half. Like, Jordan Montgomery has been a huge addition for them. He's like turned into another person. He's been even like 10 times better than he ever was with the Yankees. And Jose Quintana has just continued to have the biggest bounce back season I've ever seen. Like they hit gold with both of those. All right, don't get me started about the Quintana thing.
They hit gold with Ryan Theriot too. The Riot.
Like, and Jack Flattery's back. Like,
Suitor.
But like, can they rely on him to be healthy next year? Like, he hasn't been healthy the last couple years. Wainwright is literally almost older than Luke. I mean, what? Like,
It
what?
was an uncalled for shot. Just an uncalled for shot.
Like, I'm just saying that team needs pitching.
One game left in the season.
Why would they invest more money into offense when they need pitching going forward? If they want to keep this thing moving like they have been this year, to me, like, or if they want to take the next step, because going into this postseason, like, I think they could perhaps maybe if one of you know how that Cardinal Devil magic works, like maybe they can get into that NLCS and challenge the Dodgers or the Braves. Well, I guess they would have to play the Braves, but you know what I mean. Maybe the Dodgers, like they need more pitching to really be a World Series contender, in my opinion. So, to me, going in the offseason, if they do that, then yeah, I'm gonna be afraid of them next year. I'm already gonna be afraid of them anyway, but like. They add more pitching, then they can really be a World Series contender. This year, they got 6 more seasons out of their 2 studs in the lineup, and then they've had some young guys come up and impress. And Wainwright is still somehow giving you quality innings, and Miles Michaelis came back from an injury and has played well for them. But they're just like there isn't a lot to like with the pitching. And
Steven, did we get that super chat?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
$4.99.
Hector.
Cha-ching.
We did actually know that Morel has a 20-year-old brother on the ACL Cubs, who apparently Morel says is better than him.
Ooh.
Well,
So
what?
Apparently Morel said that in the past, that his
Really?
brother might be better than him. Or maybe I'm misspeaking. Maybe someone else had said that, like a scout or something. But I know I've seen somewhere that someone has said Christopher Morel's brother is better
Was
than
it
him.
Crawley?
It could have been Crawley.
Could have been Crawley. Crawley's on the
I like Joel's comment.
interwebs a lot.
Joel's comment also, he says, it would be very Cardinals to swoop Rodon right from under us. Yes. Now, that makes more sense to me. If Rodon goes to the Cardinals,
Yeah. That does sound like a Cardinals move.
That honestly would hurt me more than Contreras going to the Cardinals. So,
Rafael is Christopher Morel's brother's name, by the way.
Rafi Morel.
Rafael Morel. That's a cool name. I like that name.
Rafael Morel.
So Willson hits number 22. He hit 24 in 2019. Meanwhile, the biggest home run of the night in all of Major League Baseball, clearly, Nico Hoerner hitting number 10 on the season for the Cubs. Because
the biggest home run
we're
of the
hoping
evening.
to see Nico and Madrigal combined for 11 home runs this
Yeah, because
season.
Joey said it at
We
10 and a half.
still have a shot.
in the
We
preseason.
still have a shot.
Need
Yeah.
one tomorrow, baby. The
mean-
clutchest home run of the year.
It's the only thing that matters tomorrow.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nico turned on that one today. I think like that was a 95 mile per hour fastball in on the hands. No, I mean not in the hands, but it was inside on the plate. Turned on it, took it out. It was a home run off the bat. I think he could do it again tomorrow. I think. Speaking of which, like Nico, I guess we'll get to who you got, right? But
Oh, we can do who you got now.
you want to do it right now?
Yeah, we can do who you got now. I mean, Cody disrespected the game,
Yep.
who you got,
Yep.
and because he's wrapped up who you got by a small margin, small and debatable margin, he decided not to make a pick. He was too good for the game.
Well,
today.
here's the thing. Here's my thing.
It's like
is
the
that-
Yankees not playing the last 2
Here's
games
my
of the
thing,
season.
and when you put
It's a Cardinal-like move.
Oh, my God. That's where we draw
Hold
the
on.
line.
It's
Stud.
something. It's something that Yachty would do.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. Here's my
That
thing.
is not true.
So I bet I picked Nico, and then I wagered 20 points. All the 20 points that I had. Luke wagered $100 and a pint of
You
blood.
I
wagered
didn't wager. I just said I
points.
would get 100 points if I won.
Oh, okay. Oh, did I not do 20?
You said
anyway,
5.
Okay, 5. I was going to do 20 tomorrow. You're right.
Yeah.
5 today on this one. Anyway. But
I
when,
said if Kiros hit, you guys each would owe me a pint of blood. In case
then
I
you-
ever needed it, we were just going to store it in the fridge
also,
here.
but you also wagered 100 points.
No, I just said you guys should have to give me 100 points. for
Anyway,
Kiros.
you
I
lost.
wasn't wagering.
Cody didn't pick. But when he picked Heroes like 2 weeks ago
That
and
was
wagered
gold.
3 points, You gave him 3 points.
I gave him 2.
You ended up giving him all 3.
No, I gave him 2.
You gave him 2.
Okay, so I should get
after
4.
he wouldn't stop arguing about it.
And it was Esteban Quiros. It was easily the pick of the season.
I disagree.
Come on.
Joey picked Yan Gomes on the home run that somehow beat
Gomes
me.
is a veteran. Esteban Quiros is going to have like 30 games of big league play.
But he picked the only guy that could have beat Nico that game. Like
Right,
Quiros had the only
good point. How many points does Maverick get, however?
Maverick hasn't made a point since Top Gun Day at Wrigley
We can't
Field.
play the Maverick music. Steven told us he won't, and not on his watch.
I won clearly, and I think I deserve at least 4 points.
You wagered 5.
Yeah, so I said I deserve at least 4 if you're not going to give me all 5.
No, I'll give you all 5.
Okay, there we go.
I play fair, believe it or not.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. So I start the trend by saying I deserve 3 points.
No, but you didn't wager them. I did.
Esteban Quiros, and I got 2.
But you didn't wager them.
Well, that was also the first time this whole thing happened. We talked about going into these last few games that you could wager points and
Oh yeah, I didn't know we'd actually officially were going to do it though, because I thought we decided the game was over.
No, he did. He decided the game was over.
I didn't decide shit.
Well, but that's why you didn't make a pick today.
No, we decided it was over
because I thought it was over.
We declared Cody the champ.
I didn't do that.
Well, Luke would rather me be the champ than let Ryan get points.
No,
that's kind of wild here.
Yeah, apparently.
The points are points are pointless because Cody won.
Not if we
That's
wager.
why I picked Quiros, just for fun.
Oh, is that what it was? Because if what if Quiros would have had
then we would have celebrated it duly.
Oh, we would have. Would we have stuck?
Yeah, he picked Quiros just for fun, but he also tried to switch to Contreras after Quiros struck out.
In his first at bat. He didn't look good.
Anyway,
he didn't look good.
Anyway, I'll make a pick tomorrow. Y'all are both tied at 26.
If I wanted to win today, I would have taken the ass man because I knew he was going to give you 5 1/3 shutout again.
You knew it. You absolutely knew it was going to happen.
He didn't give you 5 1/3 shutout though,
didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I believe
he
so.
did. Okay,
he definitely went into the
Those
sixth
runs
inning.
were to Keegan
They were in
to,
the inning after.
Hughes.
Yeah, he definitely went into the 6th inning today.
Despite the fact that Keegan gave up, first of all, quickly, Assad, again, he's in the Sampson boat where he's done enough to be, someone that you at least have around next year.
Yeah.
And, you're gonna keep him around and see what you have and then play from that depth. And then, we'll get to see Sampson one more time. But Keegan, I know he gave up 2 runs in the bullpen this time, but he got out of a huge jam that he had to come into. Have we decided that reliever over starter, or are you just going to kind of wait it out, look at spring training, see who they get, and then decide where you want to go?
Well, here's Keegan's stats. Here's Keegan's stats or his splits versus starter versus reliever. Clearly, he's been better as a reliever. Less innings, probably less outings, but less innings, but he's been just a little, he's been a lot better as a reliever, which it tells me that you have Keegan a solid floor. Like if he's your multi-inning weapon at reliever, then you can be completely comfortable with that. If he's a guy you can go out, you can put out there and feel confident that's going to pitch or give you 2-3 innings maybe of solid relief, like if that's his floor, you're very, very comfortable with that. I don't think what he's done as a starter has me not believing he can't be a starter. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of that kind of that stretch run of him in the rotation, he started learning the slider. Like
he looked good.
But it's just like that's a brand new pitch. He's trying to mix up the repertoire, add another pitch. And maybe that leads to a couple more hits or a couple more home runs like during that time. Like I don't think we rule out Keegan as a starter. I think it's kind of you go to spring training, see what you got in him, let him compete for that. Just like they let him compete for the rotation in spring training this year, and then ultimately decided to start him out in the bullpen. Like I think you go into next season doing that because you know that he could be a good reliever, a good long reliever. But you also want to see like, does he put in the work this offseason? Does he gain command of all his pitches and mix them well? And does he do that coming out of spring? Can they trust him as a rotation guy on opening day? Like I think that's what they want to see in spring, and I think that is the right way to go about it.
Well, the only reason that I'm like, you should just put him in the bullpen now is because you've seen so many guys perform as a starter really well in the second half, right? Whenever he was performing well as a starter, I mean, the Cubs were so depleted and he was pitching so well at certain games that you're like, well, this guy could do this. But like Drew Smyly, like if you bring him back, which he's not only has he said he wants to come back, but he's also just pitched really good in the second half of the season, and he was even better in the first half than we really expected. Sampson, Assad, and then you got Kyle Hendricks, and then Stroman, and Steele, and Wisniewski as an option. And then if you actually do sign a free agent pitcher, veteran or whatever, or a top-of-the-line number one starter, then, like, that's another one. So, like, to me, you've seen better numbers in the bullpen. Use them as a multi-inning pitching weapon, as they like to call it, and he can have a spot start every now and then is kind of like where I sit right now, because I'd just rather Smyly be a starter than out of the bullpen personally. And Hendricks is going to start, and like Wisniewski, I don't think he's going to start at the beginning of the year, but if he is, he's the one that I would rather have be a starter over Thompson. And again, like, will they sign a free agent pitcher? We think they might, but even if they don't, like, they still have so many guys. It just feels like at this point Thompson's going to be in the bullpen. And, like, it's weird for me to say that because literally 2-3 months ago I was like, this guy's earned a spot in the rotation. I mean, he went to Los Angeles, shoved like 7 innings down the Dodgers' throats. He broke the 11-game losing streak, shoving it against the Braves, who just won 100 games. Like, he's pitched really well as a starter against really good teams. I know the numbers that we showed as a starter aren't great. His ERA is over 4.5. Like, I get it. And that's probably because of his last 2 starts he has as a starter before he went on the IL were not good. But he had a really good stretch there between, June and right before he went on the IL, and I think in August, like, where he looked like a very solid every 5th day starter. And so, like, now with all the guys they do have, it just feels like his best role could be out of the bullpen with Alzolay as a multi-inning, multi-weapon, whatever you want to call him, and let things play out. And if an injury happens, you got a guy right there who you can insert and be a spot starter.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm sold on like Sampson or Killian, whoever the guy might be, over Thompson. I just think it becomes a philosophical, organizational question. How much do you value that high-end reliever that can go multiple innings?
Yeah.
It's changed in baseball. There's no question about that role has become more prominent, more valued. Is it more valuable than a 4 or 5 that you can depend on in the starting rotation? I don't know. I would love to hear, and I think that it'd be difficult to for a GM or somebody currently in the game to actually give you that answer, because then people are going to start comparing name to name and say, oh, this guy's more valuable than this guy. But you might find people that are out of the game that would say, yeah, I think you're starting to see that a reliever that can take the worst part of it, come in a bad situation, and then give you 3 innings multiple times a week might be more valuable to you than your 5th starter for sure.
Well,
but it could also be your 4th starter.
Well, and that's why we were like, remember at the beginning of the season when he was like however many innings without, a run allowed? Like, it was
go like 16 innings or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like we were kind of thinking, like, is this guy going to be an all-star this year? Like, he was killing it, and obviously that didn't completely last. And when he moved to the rotation, had some ups and downs. But again, I just come back to the fact that I wouldn't rule Keegan Thompson out as a rotation guy now. Maybe his best thing is to be out of the bullpen as a long relief guy, as Luke just described.
Somebody said Andrew Miller, an Andrew Miller type guy that can lock down at the very least 2 big innings before your closer.
Whenever you need him. But I'm saying is like that may end up being where he ends up, and that's, I think, is a very good role for him because he's done really well in it. But I also don't think you just give up on him being a starter just because he he did well as a reliever this year because, again, he's learning. I mean, he had, I don't remember how many starts he had, but it was really his first full run as a starter. I know he had like back in September last year where he was starting a lot of games. I think he started some in August too. I don't think you give up on him as a starter if that's where the Cubs see him. If not, then I think he's a good reliever, a really good reliever.
I'll say this: if Drew Smyly's not on the Cubs next year and they don't sign a number 1 starter, maybe they sign a veteran who can play in the middle of the rotation. Then yeah, maybe you can find a way to talk me into Thompson being in the rotation. But there's just so many guys, and like everyone's telling me that they're gonna put Hendricks in the rotation. He's gonna be here. Like he's taking up a spot, man. Like if it's up to me, like I'd rather have Thompson in the rotation than Hendricks going next year. But I understand the intangibles that Hendricks brings in terms of veteran leadership and or just a veteran presence and the experience. I totally get that. But like in terms of who's gonna be in the rotation, who has a higher upside, like we've seen all these guys do this all year, and now you got to decide who do you want on next year's team. Do they, like someone said in the chat, like maybe they flip Thompson for Shane Bieber because he's built his value up so much. You know what I mean? Like if it's not Thompson, that they do something like that, like maybe it's someone else, and then that does open up a spot for Thompson. I'm just saying at this very point in time here with 100 or with 1 game left in the season, it just feels like Thompson's going to be in the bullpen next year. Based off the numbers we've seen. But yeah, I'm with you.
I think it's more likely. I think it's more likely he's in the bullpen.
He could be definitely a spot
I think it's still very possible he's in the rotation too.
It also just depends on what, like you guys have been saying, what they do this offseason. Like if they go out or if they bring Drew Smyly back, if they go out and get a number 1 starter, a guy like Carlos Rodon or something, like there's not a whole lot of room in that rotation. And again, you mentioned Kyle Hendricks. I'm the opposite. I'd rather have Kyle Hendricks in the rotation, not because I think he's better than Keegan, but we've never seen Kyle as a reliever. We've never seen it. We know Keegan Thompson can be a very good reliever.
I'm not even saying Hendricks should be I'm not even saying Hendricks should be a reliever. I'm just saying like he's on the roster. You have 1 year left. Like there's no value to trade him because he's hurt. Like so he's gonna be in the rotation. There's nowhere else to put him. So you have to put him there, and unless you cut ties in some way or another. But the Cubs aren't going to do that, and he doesn't deserve that. So, like, I get it. I get that standpoint. I'm just saying that, like, as much as I'm hoping that Hendricks can get back to 2020 form, all 12 of those starts, I'm not optimistic about it. And that's why part of me wishes that they would use someone else and, I don't know, like, That's just how I feel.
You're not to the Hayward point with Hendricks.
Almost.
Wow.
I'm almost to that point.
Wow.
I'm almost to that point.
Wow.
I understand who he is.
That's a bad take.
I don't
agree.
I don't agree with it, but I understand the frustration
we're all
over
about
the injuries and some of the bad starts that have happened. He's not.
Before he got hurt,
the guy he was in 2016.
Before he got hurt, he was the same thing as 2021. And I understand in 2021 he had a stretch of like 16 starts where he was really good. But like, I just
in a Cubs uniform, he had a lot better stretch of success, a lot longer stretch of success than I guess Hayward never really had one.
Oh,
Kyle had like
not
4
comparable. Yeah,
I know
5
people
years
aren't
where he
gonna
was really really good. 1 or 2 where he was
Cy Young.
Yeah, 1 or 2 where he was Cy Young caliber. Like.
It's been multiple years, guys. I understand the greatness that he is put on with the kind of pitcher he is. I understand, but it has been multiple seasons.
Yeah, but to say you're almost at like the Hayward like wanting to cut ties with him, like that's I don't know. I don't see it. I don't agree with it.
All right. Well, to me, that's kind of looking at it with like the whole like emotional aspect to it.
Well,
I'm all about results.
We
need results.
Pitching depth is so big, and that's what they've been trying to build. Whereas outfield depth is not something that you only have to have 4 outfielders. You don't need 9 guys for the season to play.
Again, I know Hendricks
unless you're this year's Cubs team. Then you do.
I know Hendricks is going to be here, and I know he's going to be in the rotation next year, and I'm fine with it. I'm completely fine with it. But I'm also the leash is short with me. Like if he does classic Kyle Hendricks in April again next year, and then it doesn't get better, and there's no shift, so he doesn't have the better defense that he's always had around him. I'm just saying. But again, I'm cheering for him. I want him to rebound and get Get back to half of what he was in 2020 for those 12 starts. I would love for him to even do that, especially with the shift being gone next year. Like, I'm just being honest that I'm not optimistic about it. The guy's a Cubs legend. The guy won the biggest game in NLCS, Cubs history, whatever, and he pitched in Game 7. He should have pitched longer. All of that. All of it. I get it. But I'm just talking about in the moment right now. We're in the moment right now. Like, I don't know how anyone can feel confident going into 2023 with Kyle Hendricks.
I'm okay with if you're thinking he's your fifth starter because you have all this depth. Now, if you were telling me you're counting on him as your number one starter going into the season, that would be a huge mistake.
And I know
you're not alone. Lucas is saying he agrees with you, and
I know he won't be
not Kevin Tappan.
He won't be their number one. And him as the 5 next year is fine. Like, that's totally fine. I'm just again stating that the leash is short with me, at least. So
you know what he needs this offseason? A good dose of Green Ridge Farm meat sticks. Green Ridge Farm, a Chicago local meat and cheese company, offering you a better, all-natural option. Makers of all-natural deli meat, sausages, and their famous meat sticks. Perfect for tailgating, happy hour, school lunches. These all-natural meat sticks are hardwood smoked for 8 hours. 16 grams of protein per stick, a perfect post-workout snack. Meat sticks come in chicken, Black Forest beef, flavors like jalapeno, cheddar, and spicy chili. Haven't tried them yet? You don't know what you're missing. Delicious because they're made from recipes that are generations in the making, and being all natural, they deliver a fresh, flavorful alternative at snack time. You can always find them in the refrigeration section at Costco, Sam's Club, or your local Chicagoland grocery store. And right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com, include a pack of meat sticks in your cart. Those meat sticks are going to be free by just using the code CHGO at checkout. Green Ridge Farm, simply natural meat. Game time tickets. By the way, first of all, Cody, you did use game time tickets on Friday, correct?
Yeah.
When you went to Wrigley Field.
I did, yeah.
And good deal?
Yeah, I mean, I got me and my girlfriend's ticket for less than $40. Boom.
Yeah. Alec in the chat also said he used the Game Time app to go to the game tonight.
I was trying to find his comment.
Yeah, tonight. I hope he clicked the link in our bio, but either way.
There it is. Thank you, Alec. Yeah, we hope you used our link, please. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best seats on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you thought you never could? 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats at a concert. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on seats you thought you never could buy. You won't find a better deal this season on upcoming Bulls tickets. Preseason started tonight. On the road, created by the fans for the fans, guaranteeing the lowest price. If you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time, and the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events. By the way, that Bulls preseason game against the Pelicans going on, Peck and Big Dave are in here tonight. Boy, they bring the juice, huh?
Yeah, someone said something in the comments about how, like, what is that noise in the background? It's them just being loud as fuck all the time.
Yeah, that's what
I literally told them once they were done, I was like, if no one in this building knows that they are not the loudest people here, then they are never here.
The amount of energy that Matt Peck has, I didn't have when I was 14.
And he's like 35 or some shit like that.
And that's when I was just eating like chocolate-covered graham crackers one after another. Packs of donuts, and I could run all over the place like a gazelle. I still didn't have the energy that he has.
I'd love to watch Stucky yell or run like a gazelle.
We're at 9:22, and he's over there just like watching the game, just like bouncing in the chair. It's like, drink a coffee.
They are
just
espresso
at 9:30.
They are vibes. They have vibes.
Do you sleep? Do you sleep at night? Sometimes.
Only when he sleeps, he only dreams about the Bulls anyway. So sometimes it's better for him not to sleep.
Oh gosh. I love this comment. To get back to things, I love this comment from D Polos, I think is who.
Poulos.
He said Cody is Madden with the short leash on Hendricks. I thought that was witty.
There it is.
Yeah, I know. I get it. A lot of people don't agree with me.
But
That's
again,
fine.
you could have Hendricks, and you could line it up where Hendricks is the starter and Keegan is your guy ready to go 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah. I just like
that's the luxury of having a guy like
Right.
that.
Now,
or
if
a guy like Sampson might be able to do the same thing.
if the Cubs magically, and I say this because I feel like we talk, or there's always like maybe a hope that maybe they would do this in recent years, but like if they decide to go like with the 6-man rotation, again, I don't think they'll do that, but if they did, yeah, to me, then I'll have a longer leash, but there's a lot of talent here, man. Like, say they don't put Wesneski in the rotation, but he's performing well in the bullpen early on in the year, but Kyle Hendricks is struggling. How long do you wait? And how, like, especially if the team is like, hasn't completely taken off, and maybe they're competing and they're 500 or whatever. But again, Hendricks is inconsistent like he's been the last couple years, and like not really giving you innings. But again, Wesneski is doing things. Like these are the scenarios that I'm thinking in my head to why like Kyle Hendricks is like, making me feel a little down.
Well, just remember, he is the professor.
He is.
And if you have all these young pitchers coming up, it never hurts to have one of the smartest pitchers you've had in franchise history there to be like, hey, you might want to work on this. You might want to work on this.
Absolutely.
Because while Hayward was great at doing that with Say and some of these other guys, Kyle Hendricks the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Like, this will work. I don't throw hard. If you do this and you throw that hard, it will work.
Well, that's another thing. I'm like, if I trust
fair.
any pitcher to bounce back, it's someone that has never relied on velocity for success. Like, he's always been a guy that mechanically was correct, had the command of every pitch, and could just make you roll into a ground ball. Like, that's why Kyle Hendricks was so good. And if I know the mechanical issues weren't there for most of the year this year, and a lot of that ended up having to do with his shoulder. If he can get past that, if he can get healthy, he recovers. I would trust. I mean, I get it. I get the short leash that you're talking about, but I would trust that a guy, again, who injuries aren't going to sap any velocity from him because he never needed it, never pitched with it. I would trust a guy that just once he's healthy and feels right and can get mechanically there, he can bounce back. That's why I would trust it in that sense over someone that needs to throw 97 to get people out.
The mental aspect and just the IQ of the game. Yes, he is undefeated at that. He definitely has that, and I hope he uses that to his advantage next year. I basically said what I said because, like, I think I'm saying as far as what a lot of fans are saying. They want to see some of these young guys come in here and get a real opportunity to start with a competitive Cubs team. So, Kyle Hendricks he's earned enough, weight to be able to automatically put him in that rotation. I just, I'm just nervous about it. I hope he completely proves me wrong.
The big story outside of Nico Hoerner's 10th home run this season.
Put us one away.
I thought that was the
but
biggest.
one away from 11. That was the biggest.
Oh,
The second biggest story, of course, was in the American League where Aaron Judge hit number 62. And we saw the video we're all thinking, well, who's going to grab that money ball? Like, who's going to jump down and grab that ball? And apparently it was a vice president for Fisher Investments. If that is the guy that jumped over the fence, like dropped 10 feet to get the ball, honestly, I hope he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
If you got that kind of money and you're that desperate to get a baseball, I hope he broke his ankle.
No, the guy that caught the ball is the one that was the Fisher Investment guy. The guy that jumped down was just a random fan that thought it was
Oh,
gonna
I thought
fall
he
in.
jumped down.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because the guy caught it, I think, on the fly.
And the other guy just fell.
And the other guy, I think
he started crawling down, though.
it looked like he maybe thought it was going to fall into that little space.
Oh, and he's like, I'm going to get down there before anybody else.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. No, but the guy who caught it ended up being like the vice president of some multi-million-dollar company. Like, it was. Why couldn't I have caught that ball?
Right. I don't know how to say it. It's the most America thing ever that some guy with that much money got that ball instead of someone else who actually deserved it.
Ryan, if you did catch that ball, how much are you asking for?
I've seen $2 million, so I'm starting there.
Well, that's where you start, huh?
I'm starting there. Maybe Aaron Judge because he's like 2 feet taller.
Idiot is going to give $2 million for that baseball.
The guy about to make $300
I understand what you're
million.
saying. Like, if somebody's going to give me $2 million for it, I'll take it. But like, what kind of jerk do you have to be to spend $2 million on a baseball?
I mean, Aaron
Someone with a lot of money.
Judge is like 2 feet taller than me and may be able to intimidate me into giving him the ball, but I'm definitely gonna like try.
I'm picturing
feet.
Zambrano Fontenot.
The Yankees have enough to give $2 million away.
Yeah.
They have enough for a ball like that.
You think that ball go like whenever that guy sells it, say the MLB wants it or whatever. If the MLB or the Yankees get it, wouldn't you think they would try and put that in the Hall of Fame? I mean,
Of
that's
course,
an American League record, right?
Shouldn't Major League Baseball just pay whatever the guy wants?
Yeah.
Like, all right, dude, here's the deal. We're going to get you $700,000 to put it in the Hall of Fame. Like Major League Baseball, that's nothing.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
To the Yankees,
just
again, it's nothing.
cut the guy a check for $500,000 and walk away.
If you were Aaron Judge, would you keep it or would you give it to the Hall of Fame?
I think he'd probably rather see it in the Hall of Fame, right? Like, more people are going to see it and remember what you did by storing it there than putting it on a mantle in a house where nobody's going to see it.
But
Yeah,
don't
people
you
are
want to
gonna-
be able to?
I
Wouldn't
don't
you
know, I'd
want to be
rather-
able to see it every day and just like remind you of what you did? I
If
don't
it
know.
was his 74th home run, yes. But it was his 62nd.
Still short of Sammy.
Yep.
Yep.
What was it 11? No, one short of
One
Sammy's third
Third
best
best.
season.
Of his third best, yeah.
Won't let him back in the ballpark, though.
Won't put him in the Hall of Fame, though.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the Braves in Game 161 executing their first sacrifice bunt of the season. So on one hand, you have a guy hitting 62 home runs, and on the other hand, you have a team that has their first sack bunt of the season with one game to go.
And it's in a game that
Yeah.
matters, too.
Can't
Like,
we get somewhere in between?
Yeah. The NL East isn't wrapped up, right? Like it.
I think the Braves just wrapped it up tonight.
they? Okay.
I think so.
So they did it in a division clinching game. Wow. So it was meaningful.
It
was meaningful.
mattered. It mattered. And I
mattered.
wonder if they like saw the stat and then like, oh damn, we actually don't have any sacrifice bunts all year, and then that's how they did it. I don't know.
Interesting.
That would be that. I don't know. That would be funny though. But yeah, when I saw that stat that they hadn't had a sacrifice bunt, the only team in the majors at that point, I'm like,
That's
had to be
crazy.
one. There had to be one, right? And then
Yeah.
apparently there wasn't. So
Meanwhile, the Cubs are
baseball
over here
today.
stealing bases like it's trying to steal bases, I should say.
Well, Jed Hoyer, I think he was in the broadcast booth over the weekend. I want to say it was Saturday. I was watching the game. He was in the broadcast booth with JD
Yeah.
and Boog, and they were kind of talking about the shift, and they were talking about like what MLB is trying to move with these new rule changes. And Jed said something along the lines of like really exposing like what like the athletes, the type of athletes that are in baseball. And so they're trying to get not only more action on the bases and on defense, but like just more plays like triples and stuff like that and doubles, exciting plays. Everyone says those are like the exciting plays. So like, you know, I don't really know where I'm trying to go with this, but it's
Less
like
distance between the bases now with those
it's
giant
just like
inflatable
it's one of
bags
those
they're gonna have
things
next
where
year.
like that's what like MLB they want more action on the bases, they want more action on defense, blah blah blah, more balls in play, stuff like that. And it was just kind of interesting because it's like for the last decade we've just seen a lot of homers, a lot of strikeouts.
less small ball.
Yeah, less small ball.
Which I always enjoy, because that's just where the action is. You got guys running the bases.
Well, people
stealing
talk
bases.
about the Lester walk-off bunt
Yeah.
to this day still, right? That was one of the most exciting plays from the 2016
That's probably
season.
Corey's most tweeted video.
Yeah.
is the Lester.
They're
But
like-
Hayward's grand slam is the one you remember most from him.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Hayward did score on that
on that
play.
Lester one.
Yeah, I've never had anything really against bunting, but I do think bunting too much can hurt your team. But and I feel like when I was a kid, I felt like anytime you got a guy on first, the broadcast always bring up, all right, you sacrifice bunting here, and now it's like unheard of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
How excited are you, Cody, that the Brewers are not going to the postseason?
oh baby, this is my win for the year, folks.
This is World Series.
This is This is my NLCS for the
yeah,
season. All right, that other stupid team down in St. Louis. If you want to talk to me about a good hate watch, I mean, what's today? Oh, today is the 4th. I read a tweet the other day that in St. Louis on October 4th for the rest of time is Yadier Molina Day.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's Albert Pujols Day.
Yeah, disgusting. When they play, whether it's the Phillies or the Padres, whoever, if you want to talk about a good hate watch, oh my God, I am going to hate watch that team and whoever they're playing so hard. That will be my Christmas and my my World Series when they're eliminated. Please, God, please get them eliminated. But that said, watching the Milwaukee Brewers be the frauds that I said they would be in April. You guys laughed at me when I said they weren't going to win a division. They didn't even make the playoffs. So, yes, I said this team would win 87 games. That was dumb and stupid. But at least I was right about the Brewers. And I can take that. I'll take a little solace in that.
Yeah, I'm glad they're out. I'm glad they're out. I saw you going at it with some Brewers fans on the Twitter machine. Tell them they buy their tickets at Subway for $5.
Yeah. Also, can we just talk about this for a second? How come every time I poke fun at someone and their team missing the playoffs or whatever, everyone's like, well, you're a Cubs fan. I'm like, well, if it was the opposite, you would do the same thing too. Like, that's part of rivalry. That's part of being a fan. Whenever the team you don't like loses, we enjoy that.
Rub it in their face.
Yes, that is literally sports. This is literally what sports is for, is to yell at your friends and tell them that they suck. All right? So don't tell me that I can't talk because my team had a bad year. All right? I remember in 2016 when my team won, and I shoved it in your faces. And I did the same thing the next year. It was the greatest freaking celebration tour of my life. All right? And then when things started to go downhill, I had to sit and take my L's. And I did, okay? Now, my team sucks, and your teams are taking L's. I'm going to let you know. That's part of sports, dude, is what it is.
Yeah, take your sportsmanship and stuff it, according to Cody Delmendo.
I just feel like that's like the reason we watch is so we can shit on our friends when their team loses.
I mean, that kind of is one of the most fun parts about sports is bragging to your friends when your team wins. Yeah, no question about it.
No, it is, and that's why, being a Mizzou fan and the amount of times that we lose to Kansas in basketball, and it sucks. It's hard. Yeah. There's a lot more L's taken than W's. A lot more shit to be talked to me than shit to be talked to my
friends. If the Cubs, spend this offseason and put a good product out on the field next year, and they somehow either make the wild card or win the division, whatever, and if they win a playoff series or whatever, yeah, I'm going to take that W and I'm going to freaking ride it for as long as I can because it's been a tough 3 or 4 years, guys.
That Brewers lost was the most exciting sporting event for Chicago fans until the Packers lose their playoff game.
Yes.
That'll be the next big one we have.
Yes. Can we put that up somewhere, Joey? I'll literally hold it.
Oh, my God.
Not in focus. That's his new catchphrase.
Everybody
can do it.
I will literally hold it the entire show, the rest of the show.
Arizona.
Okay. We're right there.
Oh, you can't see it.
Can't see it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Put it in front of the Chicago Cubs book.
Oh, okay.
In the book,
Oh,
yeah.
Here, put it there, Joey.
Arizona Fall League, Mesa Solar Sox, Brendan Davis, home run.
I don't think you can see it.
Brendan Davis, home run. Nobody?
Yeah, Brendan Davis, home run. Owen Casey and Matt Mervis also doubles. In the Arizona Fall League today for the Mesa Solar Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they were
Mervis, Casey.
Yeah, at the beginning of the show they were putting in here Brendan Davis home run.
Yeah, people
we tried
were,
to get there. We tried
to
to tell the guys, the bosses, we need to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get PHNX
out there. Help us out.
Get us a little something out there.
Yeah, maybe.
It's an idea, huh?
Be sick, yeah.
Yeah,
I wish we could be there though. It'd be a lot warmer.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's
Although today I would take today's weather over any day in Arizona.
Yeah.
Today was awesome. Today was
a beautiful day. Yeah.
Top 10 day. I hope it stays that way at least for 48 hours.
I was gonna say it is nice to see those guys. I mean, those are their lone hits of the day, but it's Arizona Fall League. There's good players in there, and
Just glad Davis is up and moving
and hitting home runs. the pitchers that the Cubs sent aren't as highly touted, and I don't think they've pitched yet, so obviously you want to hope that they do well. But you also want to see Brendan Davis, Matt Mervis, and Owen Casey, hit the ball. And I mean, I saw video of all three. Owen Casey's hit off the center field wall. Don't remember exactly where Mervis's went, but Brendan Davis, was off the bat. He knew it was gone, kind of thing. Like, those are what you want to see out of guys out in Arizona, especially with Davis having missed so much time this season. Yeah. But then like Mervis and Owen Casey, especially Owen Casey, I think is just 20 years old. Like, he had that aggressive assignment to high A. His first, both them, like,
he's the Canadian.
Yeah, and long season, and then they're telling him, okay, now when your season's over, get ready because you're going to go out to Arizona and play for another month.
More.
Yeah, so so you want to see those guys be able to succeed into that, and because that kind of shows them like kind of what it takes if you want to make the World Series, you want to play in the playoffs, like, this is how long you have to play. This is how long the season is.
Right.
So to see them have decent days, having good days. To start out, like, that's I guess all you can ask for.
Chicago, you're ready getting the best coverage for your favorite teams right here on CHGO. Now get fitted out in the best sports gear around. FOCO has you covered from Soldier Field to the French Room, north or south side, with hoodies, slippers, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Get decked out like tomorrow with apparel from the leader in sports merch and collectibles, FOCO. Looking for that perfect gift for the football fan in your life? FOCO's got you covered with hoodies to fight the Lake Michigan breeze. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Cody loves this next one.
Oh.
Chi-Town Cornhole.
Oh, yeah.
I do love Chi-Town Cornhole.
Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, the #1 cornhole provider for Chicagoland and Illinois since 2007. Cornhole bags, call it whatever you want. Our signature box style design can be digitally printed, covered in vinyl, and painted. Cornhole boards come with built-in drink holders, recessed in on the back, LEDs that light up the hole and exterior, and handles for easy carrying, handcrafted score keepers. Veteran-owned and operated, we can ship anywhere, offer local pickups, specializing in corporate designs for your company's next marketing or social event. Wedding gifts for all occasions, especially tailgates and backyard barbecues. By the way, the next CHGO football tailgate coming up against the Bears-Dolphins game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, was it in November?
November 6th.
Yeah.
November 6th is the date?
A little over a month from now.
Yeah.
Boy, I hope the weather's still like this.
I'm going to have a few more friends out there than I did the first one, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I might have to bundle up a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
A little hot chocolate with some Tito's in it instead of a seltzer.
Use the Game Time app. Maybe go to the game. Now, you went to the game after the tailgate, right?
I did.
This last time? Yeah.
I did. Used Game Time.
He was very tired, but he went.
Oh,
he went.
Exhausted.
No sleep, Game Time app. I'm thinking the only way, well, it'll be amped up because I'm going to be there. That's always big for everybody. Always very exciting. And number 2, the bigger reason, Cody, you could bring Creed on maybe a compact disc or something and really boombox that baby.
With arms wide open.
That's what I was looking for.
Oh.
Will you take me higher?
We got Peck singing it now.
I'm telling you, the guy never sleeps.
I am going to blare some greatest hits of Creed on the way home tonight on the electric scooter.
You're going to piss a lot of people off.
I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care.
On the scooter?
Yeah, on the scooter.
Yeah.
I got like one of those JBL speakers. Just ride down Halstead, going 15.5 miles per hour down in the bike lane.
Arms Wide Open and Higher, I think, are the only 2 songs I know from Creed.
My Sacrifice?
I think I have.
I can't get it in my head, but that's like another popular one. One Last Breath is also good.
One Last Breath. Peck, do you know One Last Breath?
Peck, let's get
Peck,
one.
we need
last
some
breath.
other Creed songs. Do you have any that you know other than Higher and?
There you go.
Oh, Big Dave knows some too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's One Last Breath.
I hope you guys hear this. I hope you guys can hear this on the podcast.
I feel like Big Dave is singing Michael McDermott or somebody. I don't know exactly if that's right.
I did.
Go Marlins song, right?
Go Marlins?
Go Marlins.
Y'all ain't heard this?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Well, we'll have to do this off air.
Who's Go Marlins song?
Creed, apparently.
Yo, look it up. Baseball, bitch,
Lucas is asking for some Nickelback.
Nickelback. See, that's what I said. Nickelback is.
Look at this photograph.
I like it better with the look at this graph vine. Look at this graph.
I think Nickelback is disrespected. They're not as bad as they get credit for.
All right.
Anyways,
before we
read my
You
sacrifice.
can tell this team stinks when we're sitting here singing Creed and Nickelback here with one game left in the season.
Super chat.
PS5
deserve
that
this. Love
live.
you guys.
Thank you.
Shout out to
PS5.
PS5 Live.
You know, we should start singing more often, huh?
I'll sing for you. Won't be very good, but I'll do it.
Wide open.
No, there you go. Stucky's in on it. Before we head out, I just wanted to plug the story I wrote earlier today.
Oh, yes, please.
allchgo.com. It's locked. You need a subscription to sign up.
You can sign up, play Creed at the same time.
Yeah, you could do
I
that.
mean, that's
It's-
immaculate vibes at this
It's
point.
like, $60 a month if you do it for the year. Like, it's
Sign up
good
on PointsBet.
deal. You get stuff from
Yep.
me, but you also get stuff like, if you don't mind reading Sox stuff, Vinny Duber does great work. Will Gottlieb over on the Bulls. Where's Peck? Is Peck bringing back the pecking order? Dave, do you know? Is Peck bringing back the pecking order?
Yeah, they do pecking order.
All right, so pecking order will be on there if you're into Bulls stuff. Obviously, the Bears guys do a lot of good stuff, but so if you haven't subscribed, you should do that. But I wrote about Willie Harris earlier today, Cubs third base coach, and I kind of, it gave me the idea when the Sox job opened up. Tony La Russa's not coming back next year due to health reasons. I already missed all of September, and I talked to Willie over the weekend. About the job, but also just about his interest in managing in general.
Yeah. Because he was a minor league manager.
Yeah, he managed a year in the Sox system, and 2 years in San Francisco system. But, he played on that 2005 World Series Sox team. He was a hitting coach for a year. He managed a team, so he knows the Sox organization really well. From what Rick Hahn said to reporters yesterday, it does not. Steven, you could let me know, but he doesn't want someone that has been in the White Sox organization.
AJ Brzezinski, which a lot of people like talking about, he's got to be out.
Ozzy's probably not out.
Ozzy's got to be out for the same reason.
Yeah.
I saw Scott Merkin writing about Jim Thome. I would assume that's out as well.
Yeah.
So,
And he wanted
not going to be a
somebody
White Sox guy.
He wanted somebody with recent playoff managing or coaching experience, so that eliminates a lot of those guys.
Which are also two things. That works against Willie because it's 2 years in Chicago. The Cubs may end up 31 or 32,
Right.
something like that.
Probably
Games
means
under
Joe
500.
Madden's out. Joe Madden's out. They're not thinking about it.
Yeah, but as far as where Willie's concerned, he would love the job. I know he interviewed for it 2 years ago before they hired Tony. But just based on, I guess, Rick Hahn's comments, it may not be in the cards. But he gave really good insight on what he thinks a manager should be, why he's interested in that job, what he would like to do with that job, and just kind of talking about his interest in the Sox job, but just his interest in managing in general. So, obviously I recommend it, but I might be a little biased. But if go allchgo.com, it's on there.
Get the membership. Get the free shirt while you're at
get the
it.
membership, get the free
Sign
shirt.
up
Don't
on
have the
PointsBet.
membership. Get the free
Use code
shirt, too.
CHGO on PointsBet and deposit $50. Place your $50 bet on SMU +3, and you get a free shirt, and you're going to win money because I promise you SMU is going to cover 3 points tomorrow. What else? I just did an ad for PointsBet, and we don't even have a PointsBet ad to do in this show.
No, we don't have one. But by the way, PS5 Dad Lie says Dale Swaim has grit. That's a
He's
good point.
got grit.
There you go.
And Ricky
I'm
Renteria
I'm a big grit guy.
I still say Ricky Renteria should walk in and say, I guess it was all my fault. Drop the microphone.
There you
walk
go.
out.
There you go. Willie Harris, I'm not a manager evaluator guy. But the guy wears Jordan 1s every day
He's a
at
vibe.
third base. He is a vibe, and
vibe.
if
Those
you're
celebrations?
he's got great celebrations. The one most notably with Patrick Wisdom on his home run trot. I mean,
high jump.
vibes, baby. You know, I'm the vibe. I enjoy vibes. Like, if you're here for vibes, like Willie Harris,
Creed?
there you go.
Oh my god.
This is the most Creed we've ever done.
Lucas said he's a member, so thank you, Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
Appreciate you. And anyone else that's a member.
change. Is this legal to be doing right
Probably
now?
not. I'll stop. It was if somebody rang my phone. There's nothing they can say about that. We weren't playing the music on the show. I can't help that my phone is ringing and playing Creed. It's my ringtone.
I heard Jason Hayward's looking for a job. Yeah, we were actually talking with Sean a little bit. Jason Hayward actually kind of makes a little bit of sense for the Sox
Yeah,
as
but-
like a minor league like invite type thing.
I was
right?
gonna say he wants to play. I thought you were like talking about
No, not
manager.
for a
I'm like-
manager. I'm just reading
like,
comments here.
He wants to. He wants to
vibing
play.
here at the end.
Hey, we got one more to go. Will Adrian Sampson shove one more time?
Perhaps.
He may. What was my stat? It was one of 8 starting pitchers, 6 innings, 1 earned run or less, something like that, all season.
And I
a
think
streak, and then 6 straight games, or
He's
5
up to
straight
like
games.
18 starts now.
He's got
Like,
a lot
it's
of
not a
stuff.
small sample size. His ERA is barely 3.
It's been since the end of June. I think June 24th
Yeah.
or 25th was his first. Was when he got called back up. I don't remember if he started that night, but he was. Yeah, he's been. It's been 3 months of him being good. Like again, he hasn't really ever got blown up on. He's had really, really good starts. Man, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. But again, I think Sampson just pitched his way onto the 2023 team.
Yeah, it's been exciting. He's been one of the few bright spots. I'm excited to see it. And also, I wouldn't want to end the season on a sweep thanks to the Cincinnati Reds, especially with how well they played over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully they win tomorrow so we can end the season on a high note.
Push to 74.
Push to 74.
Push
I
to
was really
74.
banking on that over 75.5, and they made me sweat it.
Well, whoever still had that 73.5 still
Yeah,
sweating it
if you
out.
had the 73, you got a big sweat tomorrow, brother. You got a big sweat tomorrow. Feel better and just bet SMU +3. Thank you.
Yeah. Cubs lose. First of all, I can't believe they gave up a 2-0 lead, but that's what happens.
What was your favorite part of the 2-0 lead, Luke?
Oh, you didn't tweet
The
that out.
Kiro strikeout in the first inning.
I know I did tweet it out with the score graphic, Ryan.
Got another call. Another call.
All right.
All right. Anyways, really, everybody in the chat's been awesome tonight. Thanks to everybody
it.
that showed up. Game 161.
Hit that
We're still
like
going
button on your
strong.
way out of here.
Again,
We got
we're going to be doing
13.
shows at 1:20 in the off season. So just because tomorrow's the last game, if you're going to miss the last game's post game show,
What day's Jed talking?
Friday.
Jed's
Friday?
talking on Friday.
Okay.
Friday's show will be at 4:00. But then once the off season starts next week, we'll start doing them at 1:20. Monday
Yeah.
1:20, Tuesday 1:20, Wednesday, Thursday
Both 120.
1:20,
I like the
1:20,
start time.
1:20.
120 start.
120. 120 Cubs, 120 CHGO Cubs. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs postgame show presented by PointsBet. And we will see you for game 162, the season finale tomorrow. We hope you'll join us. Until then, fly the W.